Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have an excellent show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. If my energy isn't the way it usually is, because I've been in transit all morning long and I'm super tired. But anyway, that's not an excuse to get the job done. So let's get into it. So as you guys know, a lot of people in the media have been twerking it up all over the place for JJ Redick and the Lakers, but in particular JJ Redick. Now, I think it's important that I say this. Coming into this season, I thought that the Lakers were going to be a total disaster, being led by JJ Redick, right? I thought that they fired Darvin Ham prematurely. And thus far, the Lakers look like they made the right decision, and it left a lot of us out here looking like absolute buffoons, because the Lakers ended up getting the third seed this year, while I think the Lakers last year were in the play-in tournament, if I'm not mistaken. And they had a much better record this year, so they looked very well. Going into the playoffs, there was a lot of enthusiasm around his team. The players seemed to be very high and responsive to their head coach, JJ Redick. So a lot of people thought that this was just going to be one big kumbaya moment, and it was going to be a cakewalk to the Western Conference Finals. So what happened? They played game one against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Minnesota Timberwolves literally mauled the Lakers. They beat the living hell out of them. They ended up beating them by 22 points. Jaden McDaniels led the Minnesota Timberwolves in scoring. Anthony Edwards didn't even have a good game, and they still won by 22 points. And one of the reasons as well is because the Wolves hit a record 3-point shots in a playoff game, with 21 3-pointers, right? 21 3-pointers, and they absolutely stunned the Los Angeles Lakers. And in the aftermath of that, people have been trying to figure out, well, who do we blame? Because as you guys know, there must always be a blame game when it comes to the Lakers and when they lose. And you have to look no further than one of the biggest voices in Laker Nation, in Magic Johnson, when he called out JJ Redick. And I want to read you guys a headline from the website yardbarker.com. And it says, Magic Johnson blasts Lakers JJ Redick following brutal game one loss. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a fantastic article that we need to get into here today. Before we even get into what Magic Johnson had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. One of the things I love the most is making unforgettable memories with family and friends. And one of the things I hate the most is overpaying for tickets only to find out that there was a better deal out there. That's one of the reasons I started using Game Time. Game Time is the easy go-to app for last-minute tickets to sports, concert, and theater events across 60+ states in the US and Canada. Game Time saves me time, money, and stress by curating only the best deals, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling through overpriced tickets. Game Time Picks is my favorite tool. It highlights the best value seats instantly. No more guesswork, no more wasting time. For example, I am super excited about this Game 2 matchup between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. Here's what I like to do. I turn on all-in pricing so I know exactly what I'm paying for upfront. I check Game Time Picks to find out the most valuable deals. And finally, I pick the ticket I want. I choose between the cheapest deal, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into what this article had to say. It says the Los Angeles Lakers dropped the first game of the 2025 playoffs, losing fairly easily to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota blew the Lakers off the court, taking game one with ease. It was a poor effort from the Lakers, and they now find themselves down 0-1 in this series. Minnesota took back home court advantage from the Lakers, grabbing an edge in the matchup. Naturally, many fans were upset at the performance, considering Los Angeles entered the series as favorites to win. Former Lakers star Magic Johnson was included in that, taking to social media to let his feelings out on the loss. And he wrote, and I want to show it to you. Tonight was one of the Lakers' worst performances this season. They were flat, had no energy, and they played like it was a regular season game. He then continued on saying, Coach JJ Redick did a great job all season, but he didn't do a good job for game one. The Lakers stood around on offense, played too much one-on-one basketball, and he didn't make any necessary adjustments. All in all, It was simply a very bad game for the Lakers. Luckily for Los Angeles, they can look ahead to game 2 and hopefully be better prepared. So that is what Laker legend Magic Johnson had to say about the state of affairs of the Lakers right now after that game 1 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. What are my thoughts about this? I think it's important that we have people like this, Magic Johnson, with his stature, call out JJ Redick, right? Because we know a lot of these guys on television are not going to do that. It's important that Magic Johnson does it. And number 2, he has the credibility and the resume to do so. It has to be said. Now, you guys know JJ Redick can be rude and all of that. I just wish a reporter had asked him to respond to the comments that Magic Johnson made, and I wanted to see one of those flippant, dismissive, rude responses to Magic Johnson, because if he had done that, they would have roasted his ass. They would have roasted and flame broiled his ass. So I think he was able to kind of escape through and not get questioned on that level about it. But look, let's get to it. Look, you can't talk your way into a championship. You can't do it. You cannot talk your way into an NBA championship. You actually gotta go out there and win one. You can't, oh, well, the Lakers are going to win. Oh, the Lakers are going to do this. LeBron, these guys are going to do that. Yeah, that don't matter. They actually got to go in there and put in the work. That's number 1. Number 2, in the midst of you guys doing this all season long, please bear in mind that other teams are taking notice of all of this twercation that has been taking place. I think it's important that we mention this because a lot of you jokers out there have been talking about, oh, man, yeah, the experience of this, experience of that. Did you see what the Oklahoma City did to the Minnesota Timberwolves in game 1? They beat the living hell out of them. They beat them by 51 points. 51 points. And let me tell y'all something. If the Lakers manage to find a way to make it out of this series and make it to the next where they play these guys, they're going to beat the living hell out of them. If not for anything, for the fact that they're better than them, they're going to beat them for the fact that the media and these guys have been twerking it up all year long. Oh, they're not really for real. They're not really for real. You talking about the Lakers like they just won the last 2 championships. If my memory serves me right, was this not the team that got knocked out in the playoffs in the first round in the last 2 years? Y'all are acting like as if this is the Boston Celtics or something. Like, I'm confused. The way y'all were promoting it, you would think that this team has won 3 championships in a row. Like, I'm lost. They're giving them this benefit of, oh, yeah, you know, the Lakers are going to be fantastic. They're going to be excellent. Get out of their way. Here they come. They're like a bull in a china shop. They're just going to be ravaging through the Western Conference playoff. Like, what are we talking about here? And number 3, the JJ Redick aspect of it. If they don't win, JJ will need to get called out. And they better win this series. Because the way you dudes were twerking it up all year long, you cannot twerk it up to the degree that you were twerking and all of that twerkation that took place. And at the very end, end up having the same conclusion this year as they did last year and the year prior. That cannot be the conclusion. They need to get out of round 1 to at least justify this higher. Because the regular season is fantastic. But there are teams that can lose with high seeds. Just go look at that Houston Rockets Golden State series. And I picked Houston to win that series, by the way. So if you think Magic Johnson is on his ass now, they better win game 2. Because if they lose game 2, he gonna be in a whole heap of trouble. You best believe that. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We're gonna catch y'all, and we catch y'all on the next show, and I'm out. Peace.